Hi guys and welcome to the Aging Games. Today I'm going to talk about those pearly whites or sometimes not so whites. So we'll be talking about veneers and different types of veneers. I'll be comparing ceramic veneers, also known as porcelain veneers, to composite veneers and what the difference is between the two and what my experience has been, what the advantages and disadvantages are for each. So just to give you a little bit of a background, I started bleaching my teeth about good 20 years ago. That's when it became popular and I started going to the dentist, and I've always had straight teeth. I had no problems with them and they were pretty white for the most part, but then once you get into your 30s the colors kind of starts to change and they were becoming a little bit more yellow. So I started going for regular bleaching treatments, and then I quickly became addicted to bleaching them because going to the dentist and you had these beautiful pearly whites for a few months. It never lasted really long, and especially if you drink coffee or red wine, which I don't, but for other people that would stain their teeth very quickly, and then you had to go back for more treatments and more treatments. You can also buy these home kits and do the bleaching at home, which I also started doing. At one point I was sleeping with these bleaching trays. It worked for a while and then it absolutely stopped working, and I believe that it actually damaged the enamel of my teeth. I overdid it and there was no way of getting them any whiter. They were just kind of gray and brown. They just did not look good at all, and there was nothing really much left to be done. So that's when I started looking into veneers and different types of veneers. And like most people associate veneers, porcelain veneers, when you see the celebrities with their chiclet smiles, and especially about 10 years ago they were still quite new and they didn't look very natural, so there were a lot of bad examples of porcelain veneers, and that really scared me. And my husband did not want me to do this. He was so against it, and he just thought they look really fake, and then you kind of look like you have dentures, like you're actually much older and you have dentures, because they just look so white and so perfect and so square. It's just not how normal teeth look. So he was really dead set against it. So then I started researching composite veneers, because with composite veneers you don't have to file down your own teeth, which was also a big concern for me because I've read so many different horror stories of the teeth getting filed down to almost nothing, and then all kinds of different issues. The teeth become sensitive or people even end up losing their teeth. So lots of things can happen, and I definitely didn't want to go and take my healthy teeth and start filing them down into little stumps to put these porcelain veneers on top of it. So when I looked into composite veneers, and composite veneers are actually, they're using a filling material that you would use for a filling, and then they just kind of overlay this onto your tooth. So there's very little preparation that is needed. I really like that about it. So they don't have to file your tooth down. They do some prep, but it's very minimal. So you can actually reverse this if you want. You can have the composite veneers removed and have your natural teeth back. So this really sounded very interesting to me, and my husband was slowly opening up to the idea. And I had these done, it's gonna be I think 6 years now, 6 years ago. And I went to the dentist, and first he did like a mock-up. So he did this, I think it's done from acrylic, and he did this mock-up so you can see exactly what the shape of my teeth will be, and also the color, to choose the right color, the shape, the size, everything. So with this they were able to make my teeth a little bit bigger because they were quite worn down, to also fill in little gaps because they were quite spacey. And then I didn't really realize this, but where you have like little triangles of blackness where you look inside the mouth, that is not really a nice look. So he made them more uniform, whiter, and to put this kind of protective coating onto your natural teeth. So the mock-up came out really nice, everybody loved it, and then I decided to go ahead with it. And first we did the composite veneers on the top teeth, and it was a long process. I mean, we just did from canine to canine, so that's 6 teeth, and I was there for about 3-4 hours. It was a very long process. The dentist was very meticulous, and he was like an artist the way he was painting on the composite, and it came out absolutely amazing. And my teeth felt bulkier, bigger, but I really liked that look. It really suited me, and I was just thrilled. And then I went back and I had the bottom teeth done, which were, my bottom teeth were very tiny. So he had a really difficult time working with those, but there were also big gaps in between. So he filled all these gaps. And after a few months, my teeth were all ready, and I was really happy, and they were white and they looked wonderful. Now the problem with composite veneers that they are not as strong. They are cheaper. but they are definitely not as strong as porcelain veneers. So what happened was eventually after a few months, a year or two, they slowly started chipping off, especially like in between where the gaps were filled in, like little piece, like in the bottom teeth. I just lost all the filling that was put between the spacing of my teeth. They eventually just started chipping away. And even the top front teeth, one of them started chipping. So I needed to go, and about a year, maybe two, not even 2 years later, I needed to have all the bottom teeth redone and then a couple of my top teeth redone. So I wasn't very happy about that. It came out nice again, it looked great, but I just, I eventually realized like this is something that I have to do constant maintenance on. So even though it's cheaper in the beginning, it will, end up costing you more money in the long run because they're not nearly as strong as porcelain veneers. So fast forward a few years, and I started thinking again about porcelain veneers again. My husband was worried. He doesn't want them too white. He doesn't want them fake. He doesn't want them. So he's very worried. And I was very worried about the whole process of taking off the composite veneers. They have to be drilled off, obviously. And then the whole process of putting the porcelain veneers and how they will look and how the whole thing will turn out. But I have a very good dentist in Marbella that I really trust, my German dentist, Dr. Frank. So, I went for a consultation and he says, yes, it's definitely doable. And, there are different kinds of porcelain veneers they can do. There's one kind that they can actually print in the office and they can be placed instantly. He didn't recommend this because he said they just never come out as nice as when, a dental technician, an artist actually paints each one by hand. Then they will look much nicer. So I decided to wait. So the first thing we did was we removed all the composite, and then he put like temporary veneers on me for the time being. I think we only did the top until my new ones would be ready. I waited about maybe a week to 10 days, and then I went back. And I mean, to be honest with you, like the whole placement of the porcelain veneers, when they show you a video online, it's like, 2 minutes, blah, 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 they just glue it on and everything's ready and that's done. It's actually not like that. It's a longer process. It is quite painful. I did all of it without any kind of anesthetic because I'm crazy. I mean, the preparation is not bad. When they're cementing the veneers onto your teeth, that's not bad. But then what happens, this little cement, it kind of goes everywhere. And then they have to use these little saws and files and everything to file the stuff that drips out. They have to file it out from between the teeth. So that kind of, you have a lot of bleeding gums and stuff like that. So that's a bit torturous. I didn't enjoy that part at all. But, in the end, it was maybe 2-3 hours to do the top and the bottom, again, canine to canine. So I went for a very natural look. I asked for a B1 color, and also the technician did some special kind of shading to make it look like natural teeth, how you have, a bit of dark spots like around the gums and between the teeth. Because if you go like a uniform, like a bright white, fluorescent white, then it's never going to look like natural teeth. So I decided to go with the more natural look. In the beginning, I was a little bit, I'm not going to say disappointed, but I was, I almost felt like my composite veneers were wider in the beginning than my porcelain veneers. And, also they were bulkier and kind of chunkier. So I had a very different look and feel to the porcelain veneers afterwards. It's a nicer feeling, like my teeth, they definitely look much more natural. They feel amazing, even for your tongue, whereas the composite eventually gets a little bit rough and you have rough spots. It's never quite smooth, that squeaky smoothness. So with the porcelain veneers, you can definitely achieve that. Because I asked for this shading, then you don't get that true white looking teeth. And also the different colors that you can choose is like B1 is the whitest that you can choose, but then you can also go into the bleached shades, which is what you see on celebrities. They're actually using the bleached shades, which don't ever really come out natural. So I've had my porcelain veneers now for 2 years, and just to compare it, I mean, there's been absolutely no issues. There's been no chipping. The color doesn't change. It's not porous like the composite veneer. So even if you're drinking coffee and tea, it's not going to absorb like a sponge and change the color. So it's definitely much more consistent. It feels much more natural in my mouth. I think it's a really nice look, and I'm really happy that I was able to do something, because I got to the point with my teeth where there was nothing left to do. I've ruined the color of my natural teeth with the non-stop bleaching, which I definitely overdid. I just didn't want to live with my teeth being yellow and brown, and it's really aging, and it's not a nice look. When your teeth look nice, then it just makes your whole face look younger. You smile more because you're happy to show them off. So it changes a lot of things for me. As far as pricing goes, like I said, the composite veneers are cheaper, but not really that much cheaper in the end. It really depends on the dentist that you go to. If you do the composite veneers, make sure you go to a really good dentist that is going to take his time, because you can do this in like 10 minutes, treat it like a filling and just put it on in 2 seconds. Or you can go to an artist who's really going to design your teeth and make them perfect. Also for the porcelain veneers, even more important to find a really good dentist. That comes highly recommended. Make sure that you look at his previous work to see the kind of things that he's done to make sure that it matches your style. And it's also nice because, with veneers, you can correct asymmetry. If you want spacing, like I said, you can fill those, you can make your teeth bigger, you can make them smaller. So there's a lot of things that you can do, and you can actually change your whole smile. So having done both, I would say if I could go back, I would have done the porcelain veneers from the beginning. They are meant to last you from 10, 15 to even 20 years. The materials they're using now are much more durable, much more natural, and they will definitely last you a long time if you take good care of them. Of course, you're not gonna want to bite into like a bone or something really hard. I'm always very careful with that. But just with normal everyday use, if you treat them like you treat your natural teeth, they're gonna last you a really long time. So you really get more value for your money in the long run. So these are my pearly whites. Like I said, I'm very happy with my results, and I hope I was able to answer some of your questions on this topic, and especially if you've been, on the fence about which way to go, whether to do the composite or to do the porcelain. I hope I was able to answer those questions. And if you have anything to share about this topic, then please feel free to comment below. I always love hearing from you guys. And if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more from me, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And also check out my new book, which just today became #1 on Amazon, The Aging Games: How to Come Out a Winner. The links are below, guys. Thanks so much for watching.